So last time we found out how you guys responded to me doing a blind box video, and for the most part the response was positive, and it's something I kinda had fun doing, so I think we will be doing it again sometime in the future. Not immediately, but, next time I get 3 blind boxes together, we'll probably do something with them. Yeah, it's just as an occasional shake-up. So, now that we know how those work, let's see how a Sentai toy goes over. And I will admit, this is an uphill battle because it's a GoBuster toy, but hear me out. There's a lot of good reasons why I chose this one for this little experimental week. Not the least of which, a fan sent it to me quite a while ago, and I've been meaning to do something with it. So this is what we're going to do. This is CB-01, which will be known as GoBuster Ace once we get him into robot mode. Yes, it's from the DX GoBuster line. Yes. Let's get all your opinions about GoBuster out right now, because we're just here to judge the toy, and the toy is absolutely nice. I mean, look at this. This is one of the cooler looking car toys I've ever seen, let alone the fact it's going to transform here shortly. Man, it is incredible. It's mostly molded in this black plastic. You can see some red molding as well, with a metallic windshield. It's very nice. Has a weird, layered look to it. I'm not quite sure where they got the idea for that, but it looks cool. Kind of very futuristic, layered armor kind of look. I'm into it. And of course, it is loaded with this metallic silver going all the way through the vehicle mode. It's on the hubs as well. It's on the front. A little bit of white here just to kind of break up the black. Nice bit of gold striping down the hood. Very, very nice looking. I mean, all around. They even remembered exhaust. There's 4 exhausts because, big cars need a lot of exhaust. That's how cars work. I'm sure of it. I will admit, the design itself, it looks cool in general. It's not flawless. I mean, you can see the very obvious cheetah legs sticking out the top. And yes, the spoiler is a little bit slipshot because it's in a very weird place for a spoiler, and it's very obviously not supposed to be a spoiler. But for the most part, in general, it looks really, really exceptionally cool. That is an awesome car. And you know what? It rolls so nicely. And for a toy car, that's all it really needs to do. But that's not all it does. It does a lot more, but for now, we set it aside, and we will meet its little partner figure. If it will focus, Cheetah Nick. Yep, one of the buddy roids from the series. As you can see, very nicely painted up, very well detailed for its tiny size, because this is very, very tiny. No articulation on it. That's pretty much all you get. Oh, yeah, and he also has a giant cheetah head hanging off of his butt. Yeah, he's kind of going to act as our Power Master / Headmaster for the duration of this review. And that's pretty much all he does, and this is just because it is necessary just to have his little robot mode in there. But we will go ahead and fold him up and form the Cheetah Head, which does attach to the vehicle mode, just as it should, and just as it does in the show, which gives it a little bit of a weird look. But I don't know, it's an option if you want it. It was seen that way in the show a few times, so it's there. But we will make it look a little bit more natural, because we will transform him into animal mode. I almost want to say beast mode, because that's just a habit to me for Transformers. All this folds down, a lot of accordion folding there to get those legs in, because it's such a small part. Not the story here, as your big panels, big legs sticking down. Now for the rear, we will extend out. Sword blade, rotate it like so, and rotate that bit to give us a tail. And there we have him in the cheetah mode, which is quite the transformation for a car, and actually pretty elegantly done. And that's a bunch of very quick steps, and it comes together quite nicely. Now, of course, there is a little bit left over. I mean, he does have these big black chunks still hanging off from the vehicle mode's bulk, but they worked with what they had. There's a combination of reds going all the way through the toy to kind of distract your eye and give you the impression that the cheetah shape is all there and much more natural than it physically is, especially with my black backdrop. I mean, it really does like draw the eye and get the shape across mentally more, more than it actually is. I also credit them for using the top of the car to recreate that natural hump in the back of a cheetah's hips. That works really well. I also like how the spoiler does become the tail, though I can't put it at any kind of natural angle because it just wants to go to the 90-degree point. That's probably about as close as it gets. And even then, it really just wants to keep flipping back up. Again, there's not much playability in this mode. It's there to serve its purposes. You can't open up the jaw for as much good as that does. But, this is a Sentai toy. These are meant for their transformation rather than their actual physical function in each mode. And for what it is, I still give it credit. I mean, it definitely gets the cheetah across. I like all the gold spotting here and there. It's much more like mechanical detail style, but to draw it out with the gold does give it the cheetah look and is quite nice. Like, they even remembered it across the neck here with a little extra bits that all kind of flow together. It's very well done for what it is, of course. And let's be honest here. Even Transformers rarely has beast modes that do more than this. So to that credit, we will give it. I will say one little oddity. For some reason, the red on this section, and it's the same on both sides, bit darker. Just a little bit. And that is kind of strange, as this is the molded plastic and this is painted. So the paint matching not great, but, it still works for what it is. So that out of the way, that's beast mode. We will get all of this transformed, and we will need to take this back. Set that aside for now. I'll take it all the way back to car mode, so you can see the transformation to the proper robot mode, as if this was an actual transformer. It's as if I'm trying to cheat my own theme week of doing something new by doing something that's very similar. How dare you think that of me? So we will start by folding out the feet, or what will be the feet. Up here we have two buttons that have to be depressed in order to fold out the sides of the car to create the robot mode legs. Up here at the top, we split this all down and connect it at those posts. That all flips down and the arm comes out like so. And this as well, this is my favorite part of the whole thing. You'll notice that this piece has been in its spot the entire time. It's actually ball jointed here so it can come up and clip back in to become the sword. At all times, in all three modes, it never has to be detached. It's always in his hand. I love that. I love that the accessory never has to leave and it all incorporates into all three modes. That's really well engineered. We'll flip up the horn, close up the visor, and now we'll get the Breastmaster element of this. And that gives us our completed robot, which means I need to adjust the camera, get the whole thing in, or as much as I can. That is our CB-01 GoBuster Ace in his full complete robot mode. Looking quite nice. Like, considering everything else it does, the robot mode comes together quite well. See, red's still the predominant color. There's a lot more of it now, though, so it's more even with the black. And I love the head sculpting on this. The visor is clear plastic, so you can see quite well through it. The green eyes do show, or at least when the light actually hits the toy correctly, they show. It's a very nice design. I'm really into this, and that's a nice little feature. Like, that's very Power Ranger, and to have the animal head sticking off the chest. So it's a very new style design with a few old school elements to it, which makes it all come together quite nicely. You can see he is loaded with paint apps in this mode, a lot more red showing through here, as well as some extra bits of silver, and the forearms also with the silver. And you'll notice the same molding pattern here, same little logos and symbols all throughout the toy. Nice consistency, keeping that up. And you've seen across, but I'll point it out, the GoBuster logo molded in as, and there's one up here too, very Power Ranger-esque, or a very Transformer-esque in having the logo like prominently displayed in parts on the robot mode. Now, as you can see, it is very typical of a Sentai toy. The articulation is very limited in this mode. Absolutely nothing in the legs or the head. Really, the arms is all you have, which the arms do have a very solid 45-degree ratchet on that side. You can move these out, though they do want to snap to that position, so not every position possible on there. The elbows fully work, 45-degree ratchets again, and there is a bicep swivel, so there is some okay articulation. You can get enough to actually pretend like he is in some kind of monster battle, and his sword is actually being used in some efficient way. So for that, he's a little bit better than your standard Megazord. Still not much, because as we've established, it's all about transformation. It's all about being like this big, solid, transforming thing when it comes to Sentai toys. And this is one of the better ones. Like, as much as, like, no matter what your opinion is of GoBuster, I know people who swear by the series. I know people who really you couldn't force them to care about the show. And yeah, some of the other later toys, it gets a little bit too part-formery for my taste. But just as this as the core figure was really good, because as a core toy, it is exceptionally well done. And it's made me want to get some of the other Buster machines just for the sake of how good this guy is. I want to add to him. I want to cobble more robots onto him. And I guess that's what they were going for. In that, I suppose they succeeded, even if it didn't seem like the toy line did all that well. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm happy they at least gave us one, like, incredibly solid toy, even if the articulation is low.